So welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us here tonight, taking the time to hang with the peer support team as we go over best practices for succeeding at TESU. My name is Kiva Smith and I'm the support coordinator here at Peer Support Services. So what I want to go over with you guys before we get started is just an agenda of things that are going to happen tonight. We're going to have the introduction and the Peer Support Services program overview by myself. Then our English and writing tutor, Emily, is going to go over English and writing techniques, APA formatting basics, and proper in-text citation and references. And then our math tutor, Caitlyn, is going to go over key math pointers, math terminologies, and online resources. So just to give everyone an overview of the peer support program, the Peer Support Services is a brand new program launched by the university in November 2021. The program is a great opportunity for students to connect with peer tutors and peer coaches who are current and or former TESU students. Peer Support Services has a team which consists of a math tutor, an English tutor, and a support coordinator, and 3 peer coaches who are all available to assist students as they navigate through their TESU experience. The peer support team is here to provide support, guidance, and strategies for overcoming any barriers that students may encounter along their college journey. So what I want to share with you guys now is just a brief overview of our peer support page. So this is our Moodle page. This may look very familiar to everyone. Let's see. There we go. So this is our Moodle page. This page is going to look very familiar to everyone because as you register for classes on the left, you'll see that peer support is also located over here. When you go to peer support page, you'll see our welcome page. It'll give you a quick overview about the program, similar to what I just gave you guys. And it also gives you information on how to immediately reach out to us. So one of the forms that you can actually use to communicate with not just the coaches, tutors, or myself, but also your fellow students are our community forums. Here you'll see we have an English and writing forum, we have a math forum, and we have a general discussion forum. So in here, you can post any questions you have for the coaches, any questions you may want to relate with other students. Feel free to hop on and have this be like just your communication vibe for anyone that is currently in school with you here, or if you want to reach out to any of our coaches or tutors or myself. Another section you will find on our Moodle page is our appointments. So we do appointments via Smart Thinking. When you come onto our Moodle page and you come down to the schedule an appointment section, you click schedule an appointment here. You're going to launch into a separate page, which is going to be Smart Thinking. Let's see if it'll load for me right now. There you go. And just click log in as a student. It'll automatically log you in. You automatically have a profile that'll be created. When you go under tutoring, here you can see drop in, which is if you want to drop in right now, you have an immediate question. There's schedule a future session if you're the timely person and you want to have your specific time and set for your coach and or tutor. We're just asking if you decide to drop in or schedule a future meeting that you do select the specific category that has peer support next to it. That way you can reach someone that is directly on our team. Same goes if you want to submit an online question. Another section that you can also find on our Moodle page is how to contact us. So you can reach us directly, any coach, tutor, or myself via peersupport@tesu.edu. You send an email there. We're all in the mailbox. We will definitely be back in contact with you within 24 hours. Any questions you may have, if you're having problems with Smart Thinking, please let us know. Another option, if you're not having the best experience with Smart Thinking, we do have Zoom and Teams. Our coaches, our tutors, we're all ready to hop on, walk through this opportunity with you just to make sure that you're comfortable. So please, again, we have many forms of communication. We can be reached at any time. Another section you will find on our Moodle page would be facts and resources. So we have some student facts. If there's a question that you're saying may potentially already be asked and we have it documented, you can check out our FAQ page. If for any reason the questions that you have is not on that page, again, we have multiple resources. You guys reach out to us. The best form of communication is our email. If you're the type where you're saying, okay, I'm going to figure out Smart Thinking, we have those step-by-step processes listed here on our student how-tos. So this is another document. You open it up, it lists step-by-step how you can monitor through smart thinking, and also how you can reach out to us, ask offline questions, schedule an appointment, dropping or pre-schedule. And the final item you'll find is our flyer, just that's promoting peer support and kind of what we do here. Lastly, what you'll also find on our page is Meet the Peer Support Team. So again, I'm glad that everyone took the time to join us today and see our peer coaches and tutors live. But if you want to kind of get a sneak peek into maybe your coach's background, you can find that here on our profiles. So you just click onto the profile, it'll launch. You'll see a picture of your coach. It'll give you a little bit of feedback of what they've done and their background. Okay. So what we're actually going to go into now is I'm going to introduce everyone to our first tutor today, which is our English and writing tutor. We have Emily. Hi, Emily. How are you?
Hi, Kiva.
So,
Hi, everyone. As Kiva said, my name is Emily, and I'm an English and writing peer tutor for TESU's Peer Support Program. I'm a graduate student at TESU, currently pursuing my MBA, and I earned my bachelor's degree from TESU also. So tonight we're going to make formatting papers to APA style easy. I'm going to walk you through formatting step by step. So if you're joining this webinar from a computer or laptop, I would recommend opening Microsoft Word so that you can follow along with me and create a template to use for your future assignments. So I'm going to get that pulled up here, and you're welcome to pull up Microsoft Word on your computer at the same time. Here we go. You should be able to see that. Okay, let's get started. So upon opening Microsoft Word, the first thing that you want to do is set your paper's margins to 1 inch on each side. So we'll do this by clicking the Layout tab up here in the ribbon, and then we'll select Margins, and then Normal. Next, you'll need to set your line spacing to double spaced, and we'll do that by clicking the Home tab in the ribbon, and then you'll pick, if your screen's condensed like mine, you'll also have to click the Paragraph button here, and then you'll click the line and paragraph spacing button. You see here it looks like 2 blue up and down arrows and 4 black horizontal lines. You'll click that icon and then click 2.0. That's double spacing. Now we're ready to choose our font and font size. This must be selected from the APA Styles list of acceptable fonts and corresponding sizes. You'll see that I posted a link to that list in the chat box, so you can go ahead and open that link if you'd like. A little hack though that I like to use is to use 12-point Times New Roman font, because this is the font and size recommended for MLA style also. So this will make your thought process a little bit easier when you have multiple assignments to write, and some of them call for APA style and some of them call for MLA style. So if you stick with 12-point Times New Roman font, you'll be good on that part, at least for both styles. To set your fonts and size, you'll click on the Home tab, which we're already there, and then you'll just select your font right here and your size there. Okay. Next, you'll need to set up your page numbers, and we'll do this by clicking the Insert tab, and then we will click Page Numbers, and you'll mouse over top of page, and you'll pick plain number 3, because this puts the number in the top right corner of each page, which is what you want for APA style. After you do that, you'll want to double click on the very first page number. You'll just double click up here, and then you'll want to press your Home tab again and pick your font and size again, because you'll find that Microsoft Word usually picks a default font and size for your page numbers, and that's typically different from the font you chose for the rest of your paper. So you'll always want to double click your first page number and repick your font and size here to make sure the page numbers match the rest of your paper. Then when you're done there, you can just close out of that by clicking down here and double clicking in the rest of your paper. Okay, so now you're ready to create your title page. So the first thing you're going to do is insert your assignment's title about 4 spaces down from the top of the page. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 down. I have written assignment 1. So the title of your paper should be centered and in bold. And again, 4 spaces down from the top. Now you'll see here that I have the title as written assignment 1. A common misconception that I see with students is that you have to create a thesis-like title for each of your assignments, but that's not true. At TESU, unless your assignment or course mentor requests that you create a title for your paper, you're going to insert the name of the assignment here. So this might be written assignment 1, or it could be final paper. So again, unless your paper or your course mentor requests that you create a title, just put your course assignment there, again in bold and centered. Next, you're going to press the Enter key on your keyboard twice so that there's a blank line space between your assignment's title and then the remaining title or text of your title page. And here then you'll type your name. So I typed Emily Geza. And again, this won't be in bold. The only part of your title page that will be in bold is your title assignment, or your assignment's title, sorry. Okay, the line underneath your name is where you're going to put your university's name, which in this case will be Thomas Edison State University. Then the next line, you're going to enter your course code, a colon, and then your course's title. So I've got SOS 110, colon, critical information literacy. Then underneath this, you're going to put your course mentor's name. So this could be Dr. Jane Doe, for instance. And then finally, the last line of your title page is going to be your course assignment's due date. And this will be in month and day, comma, year format. So I have April 17, comma, 2022. So that's it for your title page. You're all formatted. You're ready to start typing your paper. So we're going to move to the second page of the document. And you'll see here right at the very top of the page, we again put the title of your assignment in bold and centered. And that's what you'll want to do on the very top of just the second page of your document, the first page of the actual body of your paper. After that, you can go down to the second line of your paper and actually start writing your paper. One thing to keep in mind is the very first line of every paragraph you want to indent, and you can do that just by pressing the Tab key on your keyboard. You'll see in each of these two paragraphs, I indented the first line of each of those. All right, so now for the fun part, actually typing your paper. Whenever you use someone's words or ideas, you do want to be sure to cite them. So to cite someone's words or ideas, there are a couple of options. You can directly quote someone word for word, or you can paraphrase from them, which means that you explain someone else's words or thoughts in your own words. You'll find a couple of links in the chat box to help you understand these two options in more detail and how to cite them properly. Now, when citing someone, you also need to include an in-text citation and a reference page entry. An in-text citation can be in the form of a narrative citation where you directly include the author's name as part of the information, such as according to Smith or Smith 2021, in parentheses, found that. An in-text citation can also be in the form of a parenthetical citation where you place the citation information at the end of the sentence in parentheses. So again, I've also included a link in the chat box that compares both of these two ways, narrative and parenthetical citation, and the ways to format those in more detail in the chat box. One tip to always keep in mind, though, that makes it easy with APA style, whether you use a quote or a paraphrase, and whether you choose to do that in a narrative format or a parenthetical format, your in-text citation will always include the author's name and publication year. And if you chose to do a direct quote, the page or paragraph number that the information is quoted from. Okay, we're on to the last thing. So lastly, as you type your paper and cite sources in text, you're going to need to add a corresponding entry for each source in a references page. So you can see here I have a references page already started. So to create your references page, you'll begin on a new page and you'll type at the top of the page references centered and in bold, just like how you did for your assignment title at the top of page 2 of your document. Then on the second line, you'll begin your actual reference page entries. Now, this is a key thing to remember. You will indent the second and beyond line of each entry, which is pretty much the opposite of indenting paragraphs in the body of your paper. So in the body of your paper, remember the first line of each paragraph is indented, but in your references page, the second and beyond line of each entry will be indented. And again, you indent by pressing the Tab key on your keyboard. Okay, now each reference page entry will consist of 4 components: the author, the date, and if there is no date for the article or book or something else, then you will place ND, N.D. in parentheses. That stands for no date. Then the third component is the title of the article or book chapter, whatever the title is of the specific work you're citing. And then the fourth element is the source information. So this is where you'll list the organization or publisher, the book's actual title. If you were citing from a chapter in the book, then here's where you'll put the book's title, page numbers, volume numbers, and a link if applicable. You'll see that I also included a couple of links that reviews these 4 components again in a very straightforward diagram. as well as a link to reference entry examples by type of source. So that's an easy way you can see, how do I cite an online article? How do I cite a journal article? You'll find that right in those reference examples link that I provided. Now, a couple of quick notes. Reference page entries should be in alphabetical order from A to Z. And if one of your entries starts with the word the, you will alphabetize the source according to the second word of the entry. So you can see here in my references page, I've got the Associated Press. It's at the top because we're sorting by associated. That's the second word. It's the word that comes directly after the. Down here near the bottom of my reference page, I have another entry starting with the, but it's at the bottom because the second word starts with the Q, so it goes further down. Now, alphabetizing the source in the individual entry is a little bit different. So in each individual entry, if there's more than one author for a source, the author's names in the entry will not be alphabetized, but instead listed in the order in which the source lists them in. So you can see my second reference entry here. I've got Jiang S, Thompson ML, Jones III AJ, and Quadrado AR. Those names aren't alphabetized, as you can see, but that's because the source listed them in that order. So that's why I listed them in that order. But again, Jiang is alphabetized according to the relative reference entries on the rest of the paper. So you can see it's the second entry because it's alphabetized after Associated Press. Lastly, just one other note, if you ever can't find what kind of source you're trying to cite in the example list that I gave a link to, then you can Google for the APA Styles website what you're trying to cite. For example, I would search on Google citing case study APA style or citing book chapter APA style, and then click on the links that take you directly to the APA Styles website. Always try to go that route first, because some outside references that are often recommended, like Purdue OWL and some others, they're usually recommended sometimes even by universities, but I'm finding more and more that they're oftentimes out of date or incorrect. So always try to find the information straight on the APA Styles website. While you might not find it from their hamburger icon menu, Google what you're looking for and then APA style, and you'll probably find that there is some information on the APA Styles website or blog. You just have to Google to get to it rather than using the APA Styles website menu. And that's it. You're now ready to write papers in APA style. So let me stop sharing my screen here. There we go. If you have any questions on APA style, you can feel free to raise your hand using the raise hand icon. You can ask your questions now. But otherwise, if you'd like to submit assignments to me for review, ask offline questions, or you can even have a live session with me, you can email us at peersupport@tesu.edu, or you can access the peer support program in Moodle like Kiva showed, just by going to mycourses.tesu.edu and clicking on the peer support program course.
Thank you, Emily. Let me see.
Thank you, Kiva.
Okay, so I know, Emily, for anybody that joined us after, they might not be seeing the links.
Ah, okay, I can reshare this if we need to.
Oh, yeah.
Just pop these in here. So here's the link for picking your APA style font and size. There's how to quote. And there's how to paraphrase. And then there is narrative versus parenthetical in text citations. And then lastly, the basic 4 elements of a reference page and the APA styles examples for references by type. There we go. They should all be in there now.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kiva.
Perfect. No problem. So does anyone have any live questions for Emily? Feel free to hop off mute. You can hop on camera. Again, if you think of something after, this isn't the only time you'll be able to talk to Emily. You can also shoot her an email at peer support and she'll gladly get back to you. Okay, so I think Rita just asked a question. She said, hi, Emily, thank you. My question is how to understand how to cite from the ProQuest database.
Hi, Rita. Well, it'll actually be pretty easy. So usually you're going to find journal articles on the ProQuest database. So you'll look up on the APA Styles website. You should find it in the references examples by type link, how to cite a journal article. You'll follow that format of how to italicize which elements to list. And then you'll also list right before the actual link, you're going to just type ProQuest period. and that will show what database you retrieved it from.
Hi, thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes,
I
Rita.
can. Is that Rita?
Okay. Yes, I'm sorry. I don't want to really be on camera, but I guess the thing is when you look at how to cite the source, it
Yeah.
has a lot of information that looks quite different from the APA. And so it seems like when I've tried to do that and put it in the paper, the mentor is saying, you know, it doesn't seem that it's accurate. And then when I'm trying to extract the information I need, I don't know. And so with the link and it's lengthy, that's the problem I'm having, along with the 7 different types of edition 7. I'm like, what is this?
I understand that. And it sounds like you might be using ProQuest, like say citation creator. Is that right?
I guess. I mean, when you look at the article and then it has cite and it gives you the option to cite, it's like, okay, yes, send me the citation so that I know. And then what I see is consistently between that and the other database, it's like, huh, that doesn't look like what.
Yes, I know exactly what you're saying. I found that a lot of the so-called citation creators, they usually somehow they don't format things quite right. So I'll use those just to pull the information quickly that I need to use for my citation. And then I'll still manually format my citation. So I make sure I put it in the proper order, italicize the right components. So that is probably what you're running into. For some reason, the citation creators just can't always get it right. They get you the right information you need, but they don't put it in the right format. So what I would do is I would always use those to pull, you know, the author's names, the article title, dates, any information you need. And then I would keep, I'm going to post one more link here. I would keep this link on hand. That tells you exactly how to cite information from databases right on the APA Styles website. I would follow that and just use the information it gives you to format your citation according to that page. That's what I do. I just find manually creating is the best safeguard, really.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. You're welcome. Good question.
Thank you, Rita. Let's see. And I know Emily, I'm pushing your plug a little bit. So just Emily's availability. She has pre-scheduled sessions and drop-in sessions. I have that up on the screen. You can also find Emily's availability on our Moodle page. Emailing us will also get you this availability. So if, like she said, you guys want to drop you format your paper and you just want kind of that quick overview, shoot Emily an email, set up an appointment, and she'll be more than happy to help you guys out. I know Kathy gave you you're awesome in the chat. So
thank you, Kathy. You're awesome.
You could definitely vouch for Emily here. I can too, but it's just great when you have a fellow student kind of also giving the praise to one of your tutors. It's a great feeling. So does anyone have any more questions? I'll open back up the floor again after our next presenter, just in case anything pops into your head. But if you just can't wait, feel free to just throw it in the chat. And again, I'll reach it and I'll read it out before we finish our webinar today. Okay. So I don't see any questions popping in. I don't hear anybody hopping off mute. So your next presenter is going to talk to you about some key math pointers, math terminology, and online resources. Hi, Caitlyn.
Hi. Hi, everyone. I'm Caitlyn. I'm Thomas Edison State University's math tutor. I graduated in December of 2020 with a math bachelor's from Thomas Edison. So I'm excited to have this opportunity and help those within the math classes succeed in their classes. So let's get started. I wanted to let you know that all of this will be a little bit interactive, and I hope you participate in the chats. We're going to be looking at 3 different types of problems today. And first we have PEMDAS. Everyone should have a general idea of it. It stands, you might have heard the fun little phrase, "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally." Before I go any further, I'd like to have you guys take a minute and try to solve this on your own. If you want to go grab a pencil and paper or plug it into a calculator, I hope you try pencil and paper first, but go ahead and take a minute to try this on your own. Just as a reminder, it is parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division, and addition and subtraction. And once you guys plug some answers in the chat box, we'll go over it together.
Are you sticking to the minute, Caitlin? I did put a little timer on because I know I'm trying to overhear myself.
Well, we got one coming in. We got a few people coming in.
Okay. So we're coming up on a minute, guys. Make sure you get your answers in the chat. If you're the spontaneous type, feel free to scream it out. All right, Caitlin, so that's our minute.
All right, so you guys are right. It is 13, so good job. Now for going over it. And like I said before, the P stands for parentheses, then E is exponents. M and D actually go together, so it's multiplication and division. You work left to right. It is not multiplication and then division. And then we have addition and subtraction, same exact thing. You work left to right. It is not addition then subtraction, it's and subtraction. So when we're looking at the parentheses, we have 18 divided by 6 times 5. 18 divided by 6 is first 3. And then you go in and continue doing 3 times 5, which gives us 15, which leaves us to 15 minus 14 divided by 7. There's no exponents, so we're going to hop right into division there. 14 divided by 7 is 2, and then 15 minus 2 is 13. And our next problem is FOIL. Is the FOIL method. We use this method when we're multiplying binomials. FOIL, there's no fun saying that goes along with it, unfortunately, like there is for PEMDAS, but I'll give you a little hint for this if you don't remember, or maybe you didn't always go over it. This stands for first, outside, inside, and last. So again, I'm going to give you guys another minute or so to work on this problem and drop your answers in the chat box. The answer we're looking for is going to be in the form of a polynomial, just shown below. Kiba, if you want to click one more time. There we go. So we're not solving for X, we're looking for the polynomial here.
And I started the minute again, Caitlin.
Thanks, Kiba.
No problem. All right, so we're coming up on a minute. Does anyone want to take a shot? This one gave me some problems too.
This one's a little bit tougher.
So I think you have to save us here, Caitlin.
All right, if no one's going to try it, that's fine. We can go over it together. So first, we're going to multiply the first two terms, which if you click Kiba, there we go. We have x times 2x, which is going to give us 2x squared. Then we're going to go to the outside terms. X times 3 is 3x. And then the inside terms is 2 times 2x. It gives us 4x. And then the outside, the last terms, sorry, is 2 times 3, and that gives us 6. So this is an easy way to multiply binomials. And then once you have all of this information laid out, you simply add them all together. So you're going to put it how it's shown If you click one more time, there you go, shown there. And then we just simplify it. So 3x plus 4x equals 7x. It gives us the answer of 2x squared plus 7x plus 6. It leaves us with this because you're not able to add, you can only add like terms together. And since x squared, x, and the constant are not like terms, you have to leave it in this polynomial form. Does anybody have any questions about this problem? Okay. So then we're going to move on to our word problem here. It's a little more relatable. I chose one that has to do with exam grades and trying to get what you want in your class. So suppose your grades on 3 exams are 80, 93, and 91. What grade do you need on your next exam to have at least a 90 average on your 4 exams? Again, I'll give you guys a minute to work through this and put your answers in the chat box.
About 30 seconds left.
I feel like this is, I remember when I was in 5th grade, we had like minute speed quizzes and the teacher would do that to us. They would say like 30 seconds left. It was terrifying. It made you nervous.
I think I caused anxiety a little bit there.
Nobody likes time tests.
All right, so we just crossed the minute, Caitlin.
All right, is anybody still trying to work on this? All right, Kathy guessed 86, Rita 100. Anyone else? All right, so the answer here is actually 96. Does anybody know the equation we're going to use for this? Just the name of the formula. All right, so we're going to use the mean average formula or average formula. And it looks like this here. It is when you have all of your scores added together on top, divided by the number of scores you have, and that gives us the average you need for the last exam. The average you need, the average you want. So what do we know already from the word problem that we have? We know the mean average, which is 90, is what we're hoping to get. N is the number of exams we have. We're going to have 4 total after we find the last one. And the grades we have is 80, 93, 91, and then an unknown. So we want to plug that all in to our problem, and it's going to look like this. And in order to make it a little bit prettier for us, we're going to simplify the equation up top there. So 80 plus 93 plus 91 gives us 264 on top plus X. And now we need to isolate X. So in order to do that, we first need to multiply both sides by 4. That's gonna, on the right side, the 4 is gonna cancel out. And on the left side, 90 times 4 is 360. So that leaves us with 360 equals 264 plus X. And again, we need to isolate X. So we're gonna subtract 264 from both sides. And 360 minus 264 gives us 96 equals X. Any questions about this one? All right, so here's the easy part. I just wanted to give you guys some resources to use. Both of these resources are free. Khan Academy is a great resource. And if you've taken a math course with Thomas Edison already, you might have heard about it because a lot of the mentors recommend it. It's a nonprofit educational organization that offers free subject-specific tutorials on a wide variety of topics. You can choose from several lessons, which sometimes the information is presented in text with images, sometimes it's presented in a video. You can also do their short quizzes and practice exams for extra practice. This is a good way to study for math. Unfortunately, you can memorize with math and statistics, but in the long run, it's just going to help you a lot more to do extra practice. So you can always reach out to me if you need help finding a specific topic, because sometimes they aren't listed in Khan Academy the way Thomas Edison's subject courses. Like, for example, if you're taking an algebra course, whatever you're finding might not be in the algebra course, it might be in the algebra 2 course or the geometry course, just depending on how Khan Academy has it laid out. So if you're having difficulty finding a topic, I can always help you do that. And you can always email me for that. And then lastly, we have Desmos. If you want to move to the next slide, Kiba. Desmos is an online graphing tool where you can graph lines, create a table, and plot points, or create parabolas. It's a great tool when you need to show your graphs for any of your written assignments. Instead of taking a picture and uploading it, you could take a screenshot of your web browser. Unfortunately, you can't use Desmos during any of your proctored exams, but you can use it for homework. You can use it for those written assignments or the extra practices you need. It's a good visualization tool, and you can even like change the colors and make it look a little bit prettier if you wanted to. And that's all I really have for you today. You can always email me or get in touch with me through Smart Thinking. Up here is my availability and the subjects I can help you with that are Thomas Edison specific. And does anybody have any questions for me? Thank you. Irvin said it was fun and informative. I super appreciate that. Math can be very fun, everyone.
Hi, Caitlyn.
Hi.
That was great, and I love math, but I do have a problem. I find that when I'm pressed, I have problems with like higher level kind of conversions, like converting from different units, etc. Do you have anything that you would suggest and how I might learn to do that more efficiently and make it automatic?
Absolutely. So when it comes to conversions, the first thing is either memorize the conversions you're going to be using, or be able to look them up easily. If you're having a quiz, obviously you want to make sure that you memorize what you need to memorize. But when it comes to doing it on paper and working it out, I suggest doing a fraction based thing. And I'm going to show you here on my whiteboard I have. So I'm going to use pounds, for example, and ounces. So, because everybody knows 1 pound equals 16 ounces, right? So can you see that color? Not really. Let's try a better color. So 1 pound equals 16 ounces, right?
Mhm.
And then let's say we have 32 ounces of something, and you want to know how many pounds that is. Obviously here, it's a very simple one, but when it gets more difficult, you want to get into a little bit more of a habit of doing this for yourself, of you're going to put this over 1. And since we know ounces is 16 for 1, you're going to end up multiplying. So you're going to multiply, and you want the ounces to be able to cross multiply here. So ounces and 16 equals 1 pound. So then here, we're going to cross out the ounces. They cancel each other out because you end up dividing. right? And if you multiply across, you get 32 pounds over 16 with no units, because those already crossed out. So you have 32 divided by 16 equals 2 pounds. So that's the way I personally like to do it, just because it's clean. If you mess up and you write it out like this, you can understand where you're messing up more easily versus, you know, trying to just divide it by 2 in your head or on a calculator. If you write it out like this, you can physically see what you're doing. I'm a big advocate for writing out all of your work. So that's what I suggest. Did that help?
That did. That was really good, because that's exactly, I like to work things out. I like to see them. So that was perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Anybody else? Any other questions? All right.
All right. Thank you, Caitlin.
You're welcome. Thank you, everyone.
Again, guys, if you think of anything after, I had Caitlin's availability up here. She also gave us a preview of the subjects that she can assist you with. One good thing about Caitlin, if there's something that she's not, I think it was chemistry. Was it chemistry you told me about?
Maybe.
Or maybe chemistry, but you did like your research and prepared for your session. So
Oh, I love preparing for my session so that it goes, when we have extra examples, you might not learn the same way that I do. So if you give me the information beforehand, I can prepare multiple different ways of showing you, just in case you're not understanding it the way I personally understand it. I can look up other ways to explain it to you. So yeah.
I'm appreciative. I'm not a fan of math, but you definitely make it a very interesting and informative experience. So I definitely needed you when I was attending TESU and not math classes. But again, everyone, Caitlin is here. You guys are in class now. Don't be like me, or I didn't have that opportunity, or at least I didn't seek it. Peer support is here. Again, you guys tonight met Emily, our English and writing coach, and Caitlin, our math coach. We do have 3 peer coaches as well here at TESU for our peer services. So again, if it's not a math problem, if it's not an English or writing problem, and it's something else that you need some advice or some guidance on, our coaches are here as well. Again, I want to thank everyone for joining us here tonight. We did record tonight's session, and we will be putting it up on our Moodle page, which I want you guys to feel free to explore while you're exploring and maybe communicating at community forum. If anything additional pops up, again, you can reach us at peersupport@tesu.edu. Again, thank you everyone for joining us, and have a great night.